Good morning, St. John's family. Our devotion today comes from Psalm 5, verses 11 and 12. But let all who take refuge in you be glad. Let them ever sing for joy. Spread your protection over them, that those who love your name may rejoice in you. Surely you bless the righteous. You surround them with your favor as with a shield. I just wanted to break this down and bring a few of these phrases to life the way that I have been leaning and depending on them. In the first verse, let all who take refuge in you be glad. That verb, take refuge, is such an active present tense verb. It gives the idea of finding shelter or finding safety when you haven't had it. And that response of being glad, of singing for joy, as opposed to dwelling on challenges or defeat. Once we find refuge, once we find safety when we've been seeking it, that response just bubbles over from our spirits to be glad or sing for joy. The next phrase, spread your protection over them, is such great imagery. I imagine a giant umbrella to take cover under, or a big blanket that's spread out that you can hide beneath. And the thought that his protection is just over top of us like that. The next phrase, that those who love your name may rejoice in you. And we do love the name of Jesus and all of God's names. They help us not to focus on our temporal circumstances, but in the very unchanging nature of who he is, the stability of his very being. Surely you bless the righteous, it says. And maybe you remember the sermon Pastor preached earlier this year on righteousness, and how in these Psalms we can place ourselves into them where it talks about the righteous, because through Christ's sacrifice on the cross, we wear the robe of righteousness that Christ has placed upon us by taking our sin on him and placing his righteousness over us. So surely you bless the righteous, us. You surround them with your favor as with a shield. And I imagine being in like a big bubble, almost like a Star Wars force field, with his favor surrounding me and things that are not from him bouncing off of that shield that he has placed around me. This is surely good news, and something to rejoice in and hang on to in these challenging times. May we who love his name rejoice in him. Be blessed today, St. John's.